Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Hello. Let's see here. Hello, Dodie, Carol, eyes are blue. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my washer is spinning in the background. It should stop in just a second, and then that noise will be over with. Hello, Elysian. How are you tonight? Um, Hello, Ange. How are you tonight, young lady? Um, I didn't even realize this until earlier today when I actually seen the update on this case I covered the other night about the missing lady from Georgetown, Kentucky. It's just a couple counties away from me. Hello, Sarah. Hello, B, Alice, Sally. Just hello, everyone. How about that? But anyways, I didn't even realize this, that the family I covered in Brisbane, Australia, has the same last name as the missing lady from Georgetown, Kentucky, Baxter. And I didn't even realize that till earlier today. Um, so there's been some interesting things come up in this missing um, lady from Georgetown. Like I said, she's just a couple counties away. And if you guys don't remember, okay, so that should be the washer stopping because that's really loud and it's um, aggravating to me. Hello, Curious Kimmy. How are you tonight? Um, Hello, Jeannie. How are you? So I'm going to show you the video, the original video of the lady missing, and then I'll give you the update on the case. In case you guys forgot what case I'm talking about, I'll show you the original video. Here we go.
A Scott County mother of 3 is missing. Sheena Baxter disappeared Friday from her sister's home.
WKYT's Jim Stratman sat down with her sister, who is asking for any help in finding Sheena. It's our top story at 4.
It was 7:30 Friday night. It was still kind of light out at that time. It wasn't completely dark. Someone had to see something.
And Krista Crumley is asking for anyone who did see something to speak up. Her sister, Sheena Baxter, was last seen Friday night.
She planned on meeting her boyfriend. And, we didn't think nothing about it because Sheena takes her bag everywhere. So when she went out, we just assumed maybe she did leave with him right then and there. He might have just came on by. And he called and let us know that he didn't, and he wanted to know where she was. We went outside, her bag and everything's still there. I mean, it's been since Friday. This is Tuesday. It's not like her. She's got 3 girls. It's not fair to them. I want answers. I mean, if anybody knows, just say something. I don't even care what the reason is. Just say something, because we have nothing.
Crumley said a friend who works with the search and rescue group Texas EquiSearch reached out and offered the organization's help in this case. Spokesperson Dave Waiter said that they have been contacted and they're ready to go. They're just waiting on law enforcement to tell them if they're needed and where to start searching. Now, if that name sounds familiar, this is the same group that was involved in the search for Savannah Spurlock in 2019.
I want more help. I know we need more help because we don't even have no clues.
Crumley filed a missing persons report on Sunday with the Scott County Sheriff's Department. A deputy confirmed that they did receive the report and they're actively investigating. In Scott County, Jim Stratman, WKYT.
Okay, so that's the original story. Now, this is what came up today. I seen this pop up on my phone today, and I thought you guys would find this as interesting as I did. So this lady, Sheena Baxter, has been missing. It's been a week today. Now I found out that her and her boyfriend, which is this guy here, he's been arrested on unrelated charges, as you can see on the title of this. And by the way, hello, Lara. How are you tonight? Hello, Jessica. Hello, Dylan Riley Snyder. There has been a couple of domestic violence orders between this lady and her boyfriend. Both were issued in the year of 2018. But now, if you'll listen to what's happened here with this case of the ex-boyfriend, it's really kind of, well, just listen and then we'll talk about it. It's going to play an ad first, but can't help that.
The redesigned 3-row Acadia. Step up to GMC with 0% financing for 72 months on most 2020 Acadia models. Plus, current eligible GM owners get $750 purchase allowance. We are professional grade GMC.
It's been 1 week since Sheena Baxter was last seen outside of this mobile home where her sister lives. Overnight, police arrested Baxter's ex-boyfriend, Joseph Hicks. Right now, the charges are unrelated, but evidence police found ties him to the investigation into her disappearance. Georgetown police say last week's report of an attempted robbery and shooting at the Georgetown Walmart is a sham. Officials say Joseph Hicks made up the story. Police say at the time of the reported Walmart shooting, evidence showed Hicks was actually at Phoenix Transportation. Last night, the sheriff's department searched the trucking company in connection to Baxter's disappearance. Baxter's sister, Krista Crumley, says she has many unanswered questions.
You question everything, and you just don't know, and you just don't want to go off on anybody because you don't know if it's right or wrong.
Investigators say when Hicks was at the trucking company last Friday, he was inside a semi-truck. Police say they found evidence of a shooting in that truck and that Hicks returned to the semi 2 days later to clean it up. Crumley says her sister told her she was going to her boyfriend's house last Friday, but never came home. Behavior, she says, is not typical for the mother of 3.
You know, anybody that knows her, there's no one that she don't come across that she don't know.
Crumley confirmed Baxter used to date Hicks.
Now, I don't know what to extent, how the relationship was.
Court records from 2018 show 2 protection orders were filed to keep Hicks away from Baxter. Now, the sheriff's office has questioned Hicks and everyone else that was last in contact with Baxter. Hicks is in the Scott County Detention Center, but again, so far, he has not been charged in connection with Baxter's disappearance. Live in Scott County, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
This is
Okay, so that kind of didn't tell the whole story. So I found out a little bit more other than this. So let me tell you what I found out. So what happened is he called police. I'm not sure. I believe it was on the same night as the Sheena Baxter girl's disappearance. And he reported that he had been, somebody had attempted to rob him at the Georgetown Walmart, which is the same town this girl is missing from. And he also had a gunshot wound to his wrist. And what they've discovered is, and they also found a bullet hole in the truck, and the bullet went through the driver's seat and the windshield. Okay, so the thing of it is why, and then on Sunday, they have video evidence of him returning to his truck. Apparently, he's a truck driver for a company called Phoenix Trucking. Video surveillance shows him returning to the truck with cleaning supplies, attempting to clean up, I guess, where he shot himself in the wrist. So that leads me to wonder, why does he make a false report to police that he was attempted robbed and also suffered a gunshot wound? To me, it sounds like it gives him reason of having a bullet hole in his truck. And this is just complete speculation on my part, but it just seems odd that he's there. He's filed a false police report. There's a bullet hole in his truck. He's got a bullet wound to his wrist. And then 2 days later, he shows up at his trucking company with cleaning supplies to clean the forensic evidence up out of his truck. Now, had this been an actual attempted robbery, why wouldn't he want this evidence there to solve the crime of attempted robbery? So this is all pure speculation on my part. I just kind of tied this together today. Didn't even mean to tie it together. This is a local news channel here in my area, and what I do is I get alerts on my phone from this news station, And I got a news alert today saying that charges had been brought against the ex-boyfriend, then they were unrelated charges. And then once I read what he had done and everything that had happened, I thought, well, this is awful interesting. The fact that the girl goes missing on Friday. On Friday, he files a false police report saying he had been attempted robbed at the Walmart, and there's a bullet hole in his truck through the windshield in the driver's seat, and also a bullet wound to his hand or his wrist, and the girl's still missing. So it's pure speculation on my part, but something just seems a little fishy here to me. It also seems a little fishy to me. Well, not fishy, but the fact that they had 2 domestic violence orders, and they were both filed on behalf of the female party, the lady that's missing, Sheena Baxter. She had filed 2 domestic violence orders against this ex-boyfriend in 2018, actually twice. So I just thought I would bring that up to you guys tonight, because when I seen that, I thought, wow, coincidence or or what? To me, it sounds like or what to me. And you want to read my private emails? It's okay if you do. Trust me, I'll never have any more like those ones. I have a hard time trusting anybody after all that shit went down. But anyway, guys, I can't remember what night I did the story on. It was the same night we did, and that's another thing I was talking to you guys about, is I didn't even realize it at the time, but this lady's name is Sheena Baxter. She's missing from Georgetown, Kentucky, and I did this story the same night we did the story about the father that set his 3 children on fire in his car, and his wife also passed away, and then he stabbed himself in the chest and died. Their last name was Baxter, and I didn't even put that together until today when I was like, Baxter, that name sounds familiar, and I realized that both stories had the same last name, Baxter, which is, I don't know if that's also a coincidence, but it's definitely interesting. Hello, Ray. Hello, Mary. Angela. Let's see. Lara says, nobody with a bullet wound, especially on the arm, hand, which you need for cleaning, is going to clean this truck. That would be kind of the last of our concerns. I agree, too. And also, if it's a legitimate attempted robbery, why would you want to clean up the forensic evidence in the first place if you were legitimately almost robbed? It looks like you would want that evidence there for police. But since it was a made-up story, he wasn't really attempted robbed. It just sounds to me like it gives a reason for there to be a bullet hole in his truck. It gives a reason for there to be blood in his truck. Now, in pure speculation on my part, he was probably cleaning up blood that's not his, if you ask me, because obviously his blood is supposed to be there if he's been shot through the wrist. Most of the time when people shoot themselves, they usually shoot themselves through a fatty part of their body, like a fatty through the calf or something like that, that just gives a flesh wound. So this is just, like I said, today when this came through on my updates on my phone, I thought, very interesting. So I thought I would put it out there to you guys tonight, see what you guys thought about it, because like I said, I am just purely speculating everything. So what do you guys think? I've tied that together a little bit. Larry, that's a good question. It didn't say in the news story if he gave a description of the alleged robber. They obviously have a reason to be checking his story out, for the simple fact when they went back and checked surveillance footage from the Walmart and from the trucking company he worked at. When he was supposedly getting robbed, it showed him still being at the company he worked for. And then it didn't put him at the Walmart at the time he said he was at the Walmart. I don't know if they first seen that and then started investigating more. But it sounds to me like there could be possibly more charges coming with this. If a bearded bloke like myself can put 2 and 2 together on that, I'm sure the police are putting 3 and 3 together to get 6 on the case as well, and they know a lot more information than I do. But I just thought that was an interesting story. It ties in with the story we done the other night, and I thought you guys might find some interest in that. And just to let you guys know, the lady that they were interviewing on TV there, the Krista Crumley, it's Sheena Baxter's sister. I've reached out to her on Facebook and asked her about doing a story on my true crime show. She hasn't gotten back to me. She has left a couple of messages on her Facebook page that she is very distraught, that she's appreciating all the prayers and the well wishes right now. But she's going through so much right now that she's not able to respond to anyone. So maybe that's just the reason I haven't received back a response. Ann says, don't forget to hit thumbs up or thumbs down. It's your choice. Really helps the channel either way. Thank you. Lara says, he must have seen someone who shot him in the hand. He would still have his faculties about him. Good God. I don't know. Just don't know why he would put himself at the Walmart with all the surveillance cameras Walmart has, plus the trucking company he works for also having surveillance cameras, that he would, lie about this false report that would be easily disputed by video evidence. So it doesn't make sense to me. Gabble the Rebel says, is my brick wall part of President Trump's wall? Yeah, it's running through Kentucky, but it's part of the wall, right? I don't know. Jeannie, I have not heard any news on the Gannon case. Now, on the Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell case, I'm sure you guys have heard by now because I didn't come on last night. They have arrested the mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, and from the last thing I had heard, she had a bond set at $5 million. Now, she did have her first court case today. I haven't heard if the judge lowered her bond or made it a property bond or anything like that. So Angela Laster says it is a $5 million bond carried over. Okay, so it sounds like the bond amount hasn't changed. There was a watch party on the Facebook group True Crime Files of Lori Vallow Daybell's first court appearance today. If you guys are on my Facebook page, you can go there and watch her first court appearance. If you guys are not on my Facebook, I can go there and show it to you guys. If that's what you would like. Eyes Are Blue says, about time she got arrested. Why they wait so long? I'd say, just my opinion is, a lot of times they just want to make sure their case is solid. They don't want any leaks, any chances of her getting off or anything like that. Let's see, Carrie Farrow here. It says, Sheena's brother works for the same company as I do and keeps very up to date as everything unfolds. Okay. Somebody sent me a message. Actually, they responded to a comment when I put on there this Krista Crumley girl's page that I would like to focus this story on my channel. And somebody said that they actually loved my channel. Now, I don't know who that was, but apparently because I reached out to her under my real name, not using my True Crime Files name page. So if that makes sense to you guys. Alice says he sounds like an outstanding citizen, and I'm sure he's completely innocent. He doesn't know anything about a missing girlfriend because he was getting shot. He just forgot where he was when it happened. I'm going to assume that is sarcasm. And good points. YouTube monitor says urgent attention, live court hearing, Lori Vallow. Yeah, that is on my Facebook page. If you guys don't have access to watch that, we can go there and watch it. It's completely up to you guys, because the only thing I really had to go over tonight was this missing lady's case out of Georgetown, Kentucky. And if you guys are interested in looking it up on a map, how close I am to Georgetown, I'm in Richmond, Kentucky, and this case is in Georgetown, Kentucky. It's only about 45 minutes from here. Hello, Nikki Jones. I'm doing good. I'm glad you are, Hopesy. I guess Diane is going. So good night, Diane. Was the live on Face Wet Lick as well? We reported a little bit on Face Wet Lick that night, but it wasn't much the night that we did this. The story on this Sheena Baxter lady out of Georgetown, Kentucky. Nikki says, I was just in Manchester, Kentucky on Monday. Manchester's not too far from me either. Lara says she don't have Facebook. Well, let me go over there and pull that up then, and then we'll watch the court appearance. I don't think it lasts very long at all, so it won't take long to watch. I don't think it went on very long. Usually preliminary court appearances are usually pretty quick. Jessica Madera says, I found out my friend Richard is friends with Gannon Stouck's ex-stepdad. Everyone is all tore up over this. I can imagine. Hello, sweet Bilby. How are you tonight? Hello, Marie Cias. Oh, you're welcome, Lara.
So I would ask to be heard as to bail because we are sitting here with
Excuse me. All right. So this is Lori Vallow Daybell's first court appearance.
832-15. So I would ask to be heard as to bail because we are sitting here with a couple felonies and misdemeanors and a $500,000 bail. And the points I want to make, they just track the bail statute. But the points I want to make is, first of all, Lori has a residence on Kauai. Her husband lives on Kauai. She remained in Kauai since Mr. DaCosta made contact with the police in January. They've known she was here. Mr. DaCosta's been in touch with them. I have the emails. Police knew she was represented by counsel on Kauai since January 30th of this year as well. She made a trip to Maui on vacation, but she left. She informed Mr. DaCosta, and he remained willing to produce her as soon as.
I'm just going to pause here. Who goes on vacation when two of your children are missing? That's just an interesting. I just heard this lawyer just make that statement, and that just blows my mind. Ray Albert says, Braun, they said they're checking an area on the Gannon case. I just watched Scott Reich. Okay. Let me restart this.
The police wanted her. He's been in contact with the police throughout this, again, offering to produce her. Instead, she was arrested and media was calling us all day. It seems like it was maybe a made-for-media event at taxpayer expense because Again, Mr. DaCosta offered to the police on January 30th, several police, that he would just simply turn her in. She doesn't even have a passport. And as to the charges, as the court noted, a couple of things the court noted today that were I guess, prescient and related. First of all, there's no life in prison or death penalty in this case. So she has a right to bail. And again, that should be set by this court under this court's bail standards. The last case, I just heard the court affirm $1,000 bail on a misdemeanor. We've got 2 misdemeanors here and a couple of felonies. Under the Idaho statute, it appears that the maximum penalty for any of those felonies is like 13, 14 years. So they're basically like fees in Hawaii. And typically, that would be typically more in the neighborhood of $10,000 bail here, or $20,000. And again, given her residency here, she hasn't fled. They didn't even need to arrest her, and Mr. DaCosta has been in touch with them the whole time. We would request that bail be reduced until the hearing to a constitutional amount, an amount, in other words, that will ensure her appearance, as opposed to ensuring that she can't make bail, which is the current state.
So what specific amount are you asking?
I'm asking for $10,000. I think that's how the court would, we typically see a bail like that in a case like this if it were here.
Thank you. Mr. Kohler, your response.
Judge, the charge, at least one of the charges that Ms. Vallow is facing in Idaho, felony abandonment or non-supportive wife or children, is punishable by imprisonment of up to 14 years in prison. And that makes it at least the equivalent of a Class B in Hawaii, which does qualify as a serious crime under HRS 804-3A. We are asking that Ms. Vallow be remanded without bail. She checks every single box under 804-3, in that any person charged with a criminal offense shall be bailable by sufficient sureties, provided that bail may be denied where the charges for a serious crime, which this is, and 1, there is a risk that the person will flee, which certainly is indicated in this case. She has already absconded from the jurisdiction where the underlying crime is alleged to have taken place. 2, there is a serious risk that the person will obstruct or attempt to obstruct justice. Indeed, one of the charges she's facing in Idaho is precisely that she has interfered with an investigation. 3, there is a serious risk that the person poses a danger to any person or the community. Certainly, the charges she's facing indicate that risk, and there is a serious risk that the person will engage in illegal activity. Your Honor, she has no ties to this island other than a rented condominium in Princeville. She has.
I'm gonna pause it just for a second because I'm getting ready to bust out laughing of Marie Sayel's comment. She says, "Just waterboard her already," and it almost made me bust out laughing. So, sorry.
Currently, resources to travel and leave. And Your Honor, the state submits that if ever there was a case suitable, our office does not request this on a regular basis, that a person be denied bail. This is the case that's appropriate for that. As far as the identification hearing goes, for us to get the necessary documents from Idaho, as well as Honolulu, and arrange it for the necessary witnesses, we're asking for an ID hearing to be set in the second week of March. If that's what we're going to do, Your Honor has up to 30 days. But to get the necessary people here from off island, because everything does need to come from off island, that is going to take some time and coordination. So we're asking for a date after March 5th on that.
Mr. Kohler, a couple of things. Let's begin with a statement made by Mr. Henry a few minutes ago. Are you in agreement with his characterization that this is not a governor's warrant on that?
No, the governor's warrant has not been obtained yet. The governor's warrant is obtained after the person has been brought in and demanded, exercised their right to demand the governor's warrant. The Madison County prosecutors, per my discussions with them, which have been ongoing, they are prepared to immediately seek their governor's warrant and have it domesticated in the state of Hawaii.
Okay, very good. Now, Mr. Kohler, I guess the most important question I have is, why would it take 3 weeks to get the witnesses or other means of identification so that we can go forward with the hearing?
Because we need to get fingerprints from Idaho sent here. They need to be compared in Honolulu with Hawaii fingerprints that are on file for Ms. Vallow. The results of that analysis need to be checked by another analyst in Honolulu, and then we need to bring the witnesses over here. And particularly if Your Honor is inclined to apply, we note that the rules of evidence do not apply to identification hearings, but if we are going to have to comply with those rules, then we need to make sure we actually bring the live witnesses here, and that requires coordination with a number of individuals who we have been working on that and advised them as soon as we learned this morning that Ms. Vallow intended to contest her extradition. We began making those arrangements, but we don't want to get in a situation where we commence next week and then we have to continue because somebody was unavailable, Judge. We want to be able to get it all done at once, and we think that's reasonable in light of the circumstances.
Mr. Anthony, your response?
I don't think I heard anything that takes 3 weeks. And we're concerned with her in custody, by the way, for another reason. Yesterday when she was arrested, my office was calling cell block, Mr. DaCosta was calling cell block, and they told him she's not here. And basically she was MIA for hours. And we learned since that the Idaho police were questioning her while with the Kauai police, while they knew she was represented by counsel. It's just another reason to get this done faster. I mean, fingerprints and fingerprint comparisons don't take very long.
Okay, so what he just said is he was trying to find out where his client was. She was missing for hours, and that's upset him. Well, her kids have been missing for months. I mean, really, if you're going to make that argument, I don't think so.
And getting people over here shouldn't take 3 weeks. And just in response to Bill, she is presumed innocent, and I don't think the state has checked the box of danger to the community. They're alleging simultaneously she's not with the children, but that she's a harm to them, and there's certainly no allegations that she's a harm to the community on Kauai. So that's my response.
Okay. All right. Anything further? You decide.
Unless Your Honor has particular questions.
No, I don't. Thank you. All right, then first of all, as to bail, bail is confirmed in the amount of $5 million. As to the hearing, we will set the hearing. Let me just confirm that. We're going to set it for Monday, March 2nd, 2020. It'll be on the 9 o'clock calendar, following our regular criminal calendar.
Ms. May be heard briefly?
Yes.
I know that Mr. Hempy represented that Ms. Vallow does not have a passport, but could we make it a condition that if she does manage to post bail, that if she has one, and we will independently investigate that, if she does have one, that it be a condition of the bail that she turn that in.
Okay, you want that surrendered to your office?
To the Kauai Police Department.
Okay. And any response to that?
She doesn't have a passport.
Okay. All right, then let me just make it clear on the record, Ms. Vallow, should you bail out, you are to surrender immediately upon bailing out any passports that you may have, and that goes over to the Kauai Police Department for safety. Okay. All right, anything further?
Thank you. Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, with that, court is adjourned. Thank you.
All rise. Thank you.
Well, that was definitely interesting. Yeah, her husband's dead. Her new husband's wife is dead. Her brother killed her dead husband, and now her brother that killed her dead husband is also dead now, and a cause of death has not been released on what caused that. So this is, and then they're sitting here saying there shouldn't be a timeline that it takes this long for fingerprints and stuff to be produced. How can there be a timeline for it to be months to produce 2 children that you have custody of? I just have a gut feeling about this, that these 2 children are alive. I just have a feeling that they're with some member of this church. That's just my gut feeling I have on this. I really feel like these 2 kids aren't deceased, and that's just my gut feeling. This is just kind of a ridiculous case. What took them so long to charge this lady in the first place? When you can't produce 2 children that you have custody of, I know if it was somebody like me or just an ordinary everyday citizen, which these people should be considered that also, we would be in jail already. No doubt about it. In my mind, any of us in this chat would be in jail if this case was our case. So anyway, guys, that's just about all I have tonight. Hopefully we'll know some more about this Georgetown lady case. Sheena Baxter, it's definitely developing every day. There's been a lot of dead bodies around this Vallow Daybell family. We've got a dead husband, we've got a dead wife, we've got a dead brother, and we have 2 missing children, and we finally have a mother in custody with a $5 million bond. And hopefully she's not able to make bond. Maybe they could say if you produce your kids, you can get out of jail. She still should face charges for the resources and stuff she's tied up over this case. It's completely unnecessary and unfortunate. Jessica Madera says, Braun, before you go ahead. Merch, please. Well, I haven't even been able to kind of be on a regular schedule here lately. Hopefully, starting Monday, that's going to change a little bit. I should have an idea of a more of a consistent schedule I'll be able to keep. I know I keep saying that, but just work's been erratic here lately. She doesn't look too fussed. She doesn't have her kids, Cal. I don't really understand what that means. Jessica, we will try to work on that. Somebody brought it up to me a while back about doing shirts, possibly. We'll try to see what we can get done. Lara says her cult religion thinks the world is ending in July 2020. That is correct. And I don't know if it's her or her husband that they think is the Messiah, the second coming of Christ. Anyway, about it, in my opinion, either one's false. Neither one of them are, in my opinion. Of course, we can look at religious cults in history, and a lot of people are convinced that certain people are, for some reason, the second coming of Christ. How they can get so many people to believe that, I don't know. If you don't mind, she doesn't know where they are, not too upset. She's a cow. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Heiser Blue says, thank you, Sarah, Ange, and Braun. 99. It's 1:10 a.m. in the morning here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yes, very true. Had to put it live, but we love you and would love to buy some merch in support of you and your lovelies. All right, Jessica, thank you. We will see what we can do about that. Definitely going to keep up with this Sheena Baxter case out of Georgetown, being it so close to me. hopefully her sister will reach out to me, and maybe we can find out some more info and get some more information out about the case and what's going on with this ex-boyfriend of hers who's apparently faked a robbery and has a gunshot wound to the wrist for some reason. Kind of funny how you make sure to say, in my opinion, just in case there are any Dave Bell followers in the room. The internet is such a crazy place. Well, I mean, I have to say that because it really is my opinion. Nothing. I speculate on a lot of things. That's one thing about a true crime channel. You end up speculating a lot. Even if you have a lot of facts to back up what you're saying, you still need to say it's your opinion because you just don't want to put false information out there, or try not to anyway, in my opinion. Good evening to you guys. Good night. Good morning, wherever you're at. Thanks for joining me tonight for about 45 minutes. Love you guys. And I'll try my best to get on a little bit earlier tomorrow for you people, for you guys in the UK that always ask me to try to come on earlier. So anyways, guys, take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.